Daybreak. The Daybreak Show.
Some of the internal crises are some examples. We have the issues of Imo APC crisis in 2019. We also have the crisis in Ogun State right here in APC 2019, in Ogun PDP 2011, 2015, down to 2019 Zamfara. Also in 2019 in Zamfara State, also a lot of crises which also caused the parties to split into two. For example, in Zamfara State, APC was divided into two. In Ogun State in 2011, they were divided into like three factions. In 2015 into two, and the likes of that. So we want to understand, why is it that the politicians cannot agree to be able to direct the nation forward?
Well, first of all, I believe very strongly too that it is self-centeredness that is causing it. When you are selfish, you don't think about other people, because they want to control everything instead of them to allow democracy to play. They will never do so. They want to put Father Ero there instead of Femi, whereas Femi is the one that is competent to do it. Femi is the one that the people want, but they want to exercise power. They will now say it is Father Ero we want. That is what is causing it. Internal democracy can never be okay until, one, when they allow party to run as a party and governors to run as governor, to concern themselves about governing. When the governor has control of party, he has control of governance, everything in the hand of one person, and then they become Lord. They will now say, this is what I want. This is the party people are not having any say. But during my time, it wasn't so. When Daniel is still alive, I'm alive, a lot of people are here. We normally sit down. He cannot say, Father Ero, this is what I want. Shaman, this is what it never happened. I won't take it, and he won't even do so. But that is not the case today. That is what is causing problem in the party.
Elder, we know the parties have their own constitution that guide them to be, to operate as a party. So why is it that now the governors in the states automatically become the head of be in charge of the control, and there is a chairman of the party, rendering the chairman of the party useless?
Well, you see, I will ask you one question. You are talking of party constitution. Nigeria doesn't have constitution?
We do.
Are they following the constitution of Nigeria, even though it is not the correct constitution? It is something that was cooked up by some people when they were in army. So it's a bad phenomenon. It's something that is only God and good people that can correct it. But good people in the sense that if the governor says, go and take Mr. A, who is not right, and the people voting, the voters, and they know it's not right, they should vote for the right person, irrespective of the party that that fellow belongs.
Talking about political parties, they are not just vehicles for winning elections, but critical institutions of democracy built on solid values, ideologies, and visions. But what is happening within our political parties is a different kettle of fish. So what are your thoughts of political parties and internal democracy in Nigeria? And for those who don't even know what internal party democracy is all about, please help us shed light on this.
You see, it boils out to what I said earlier. The party are no more autonomous. The governor is there controlling the party, controlling government. And the people too are not ready to allow democracy to thrive. Because when you have somebody who has money, the money man will come, because people are naive, because they are stupid, they will now be dancing to the tune of the money bag. That is part of the thing that doesn't allow the thing to... It's happening basically in all the parties, except some... Okay, no, let me correct that myself. Maybe in the big parties, where people are known, where they know they will bring money. They will not allow the young ones or the intelligent, well, maybe that, the intelligent people to reason there because of money. It is money that is causing the whole thing, and self-centeredness. You have money, you want to control the party, you want to control everything. That is the problem we are having. People are not disciplined, because when you don't do the correct thing, it means you are not disciplined. When you don't do the correct thing, it means you are somebody who doesn't care for other people. No integrity. If they have integrity, they will do it the way it should be done.
The issue of godfatherism in in Nigerian politics.
Yeah, do you think that internal democracy in Nigeria can actually be possible?
Well, you see, godfatherism is something that I personally detest, because that is one of the things that doesn't allow democracy to play. When I read somewhere, somebody was saying one godfather in Lagos, he is grateful to him. Without him, he will not exist. Without him, this will not happen. Without him, this... I won't mention names, because I remember I mentioned some names before and they said it's not right. But all of you will know that people are using money. Godfatherism, I don't believe in it. If you continue to do godfatherism, you will be having mediocrity existing. The godfather, nobody that is intelligent that will listen to a foolish man who has money, who is carrying money all over the place. He will not listen to him. But the one that are not intelligent, because they want to be there, and because the man has money to push them to position, they will be there, and when they are there, they will never perform, because a lot of them will go to house. I have not been to the house before. I was deprived of that in 1998 as well as 1999 when I contested the Rep and Senate respectively. They will sit down at Abuja. They won't talk. They will be concurring. They won't go there to say, this is what is lacking in my place, this is what you need to do. They will just sit down, take allowance, take project money, and come back home, spend little part of the money for projects, and the rest they put in their pocket to build hotel, to build petrol station. So that is what I can say about that.
Okay, Elder, this internal democracy has become a cankerworm that has led to the failure of the political class. And this political class are the same people shaping the economy and the future of the country. Don't you think we are in serious trouble? And how do you think we can be able to do away with this internal democracy so that we can have the right people, the round peg in the round hole, and the square peg in the square hole, to be able to lead the country to this?
I think that one is very simple to me, and I will continue to say it. I've said it severally. It is the voters that are causing it, because they will even ask for money. Instead, they know what is good now. They know the man, because people normally go about to campaign. When they go to campaign, they will tell the people, this is what I want to do, this is my background, I'm from so, pedigree is here, I have pedigree, I do this, I do that. Everybody, they have sense to decide who out of the 2, 3, 4 people that are contesting. But they will not do so. They know Mr. A is the one to be voted for. They will go and vote for C that is having money. Some of them are even asking for money. And whereas the way they have made politics today is a bit tough. If you don't have money, you can't get anywhere. Some people will sell their land, some will sell their car, some will sell the house. And if they now have the opportunity and they're there, they won't think about you. But you know that you shouldn't have voted for him, but because he gave you money, then you voted for him. And some, for life, they will be wretched after they will have sold all they have. And invariably, one governor says, go and sit down. He will go and sit down, and then some will even be almost running mad because he has exhausted all he has in his life. And then he can become mad, he can have hypertension, he may have stroke. But the voters should learn. They should not be asking for money. They know what is good from what is bad. They cannot tell me they don't know. They know. And if they don't desist from that, we will continue to have what we are having.
Elder, I would want to ask, in the past and even now, we see many politicians cross-carpeting to another political party. You know, the case of not allowing them, of course that's the excuse that, you know, they don't allow them explore their interest to contest for major political posts. So can we then say there is internal democracy within them? I mean, why this cross-carpeting? Example, maybe a politician might want to contest for like a certain post, but some members will decide who can contest and for which particular post. I mean, is that the reason for this cross-carpeting?
To some extent, yes, because if you know you are capable, if you know you have what it takes, you know how what you want to go and do there, and then you know that somebody that is competing with you cannot merit that position, and they are in his worth somewhere else. And if they allow him, in some cases, when you don't allow them, they go to even a small party, they will now emerge. And they will have proved themselves that they are capable, they merit the position, but they have been denied that position. That one causes cross-carpeting at times. And I've seen in some cases where the money bag will continue to say, this man should go to Senate, this one should go to Rep, this one should go to Assembly. No reasonable person will stay with that kind of man. Because I see them as people. Because how can you say you want to impose candidate on people because you have money? That is part of money bag. That is part of Godfather. I don't believe in it. And I think if the politician will learn and desist from it, definitely it's going to happen. It may take some time. Nigeria is still going to be okay. The foreign people too, they have been on it for a very long time, but gradually, systematically, maybe during my lifetime, yes, but if I'm gone, people will know that I've said it, that we should allow the people who merit position A for A, the one that doesn't merit it, don't put him there.
All right. In the past, we have seen the case of some delegates that were meant to elect the candidates of the party in major elections. Are these delegates truly representing the interests of their constituents? Are the alleged godfathers not dictating who and who to vote for to them? Well,
you see, to some extent, I will say the one that when I was there, they normally do select people who will be delegates. They are still doing it. But then
the Electoral Act subsection
it's done the right way. They are doing it the way it should be done. And that is why you have the delegates there. And they will go and vote.
Elder, you mentioned earlier that the voters know the right thing to do.
They know.
But I've come to realize that it's the money factor that is always the issue. And I've also come to realize that the country right now is all about money. Everybody wants money, 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 money. And that's the major reasons why these voters will always request for money and not follow their choice. I mean, don't you think this factor has continued or added to the, how would I call it, non-literacy of voters? Because if you're a voter and you know the right thing to do, why will you be cajoled?
Because they are not disciplined. I will take myself as an example. Usually when people are going for Senate, going for rep, going for assembly, they normally visit the leaders, of which I'm one of them. I'm saying it on radio. Nobody can say, yes, since the time I was chairman up to today, nobody can say, I, the son of father, I will took kobo from anybody. They will put it in an envelope. I will say, I don't take it because you are contesting. I never take money from anybody that is contesting. Some of them will prostrate for me and thank me by the time they are leaving my house. It has happened within the next 1.5 months. They will come, they will bring money. I don't take it. It's because those people are not disciplined. If they are disciplined, they don't need to take money, and then they will now be complaining. How can they do your road when you have taken money from them? You don't know whether that man sold his house, and you don't know whether that man is going to be paying return to the Godfather. If he's going to be doing that, then he won't have anything to do with you. So this, I will continue to blame them. They know, and some illiterate that do not know, they will go and tell them, this person is better than that person for so reasons. But as soon as you leave the place and one idiot comes with money, they will take money and vote for him. So it's indiscipline that is causing that, and it's indiscipline that makes them not to feel for themselves. Because if they are disciplined, they should think about their future, about their children, that if we do put the right peg in the right hole, then everything will work well. That they don't know. No, they know. They know who is not right, that is spending money. And then in some cases, they will ask them to go and swear on oath, and then they will be afraid. And you know, swearing on oath is different from swearing with God. God will be patient, he won't allow you to die, but the Ogun will kill the man in 7 days. So he will now go and vote wrongly because of money. You may refuse money, but they don't refuse. I normally refuse. They bring it. I know how many millions I will have taken within the last 2 months for people who are going to vote. I'm not the only person to vote now. Who the hell am I that I will be taking money? But they think I will now influence other people. We will talk and say, A is this, B is that, and then we choose the right person. But some people who have taken money that I didn't take, they will be speaking on behalf of the man they took money from. So it's indiscipline. The voters, I'm begging them. I normally accuse them before, but now I'm appealing to them not to take money from any useless person. They should do according to the dictates of their mind. They have conscience now. True. And some of them know that what they are doing is wrong. That I can tell you. But they will do it because of money. And in some cases, when they take money, there is one henchman that will be watching whether he votes
the right.
Yeah. If he doesn't, okay, no. They can beat him, they can do anything. But if he doesn't take money, he will now go there according to his conscience, even if it is wrong. But he knows that is what his conscience says he should do. The voters should try to do that.
Sir, some voters always think that, let's collect the money now.
Because they are foolish.
They will say, they will rig it anyway, so let's just collect our own now.
Which their own, they will collect their own and suffer for 4 years.
In buttress to what she just said, some of them believe the electoral process. They don't believe in the electoral process, the Nigerian electoral process, because their own mindset. Because I was talking to some set of people, and these are learned people that went to the university and work in good organizations, and they are like, I collected the money. I was like, but you know that is not right, because even if I don't collect the money, they will still rig it.
You see, rigging is there. But it is very difficult. I will take a sample from the school. Let's say the 3 of us or 4 of us are in the class. And my teacher will say I should go and fetch water. I won't fetch it. But you will go and clean his house, fetch water for him. If I have 90%, he cannot change it to 0%. The worst scenario, he will say, I got 55. I will still pass. They cannot rig where these things are thoroughly done and properly done. They will have signed, they will have done everything, and it will be open. And that is why they go to court and some people win, because they will establish it that these are the results that have been signed from polling booth A, B, C to Z. So if they do the correct thing, I'm not saying they don't rig. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It happened to me in 1998. My opponent, or the leader of the opponent, was even weeping in my presence. But two people, they went somewhere and then they rigged the thing. They said I didn't win. And true to life, 2005, the fellow who they used as instrument to, we went to court, but they went and create new polling booths. And my lawyer, Professor Abiodun Adesoya, he was laughing because he knew they've just written all those. The polling booth that were not existing, it was not part of the result that the SSS, INEC, police, all of them signed that. I was holding that, we tendered. But the judge now said, well, the INEC is the final arbiter. They have to rely on what the INEC people said. That was 1998. 2005, the man came to my office. I don't know whether his office or some. He prostrated and said he has offended me. I said no. He said he offended. I said no. During the case, I will see you in court. I agreed to. But he said they asked him to do it, and she did it at that time. So he did it. I'm not saying they don't read. They do. But if we do the correct thing, it's going to be
hard
difficult.
for them.
Yes, very hard.
Now that voting will be electronically done, so we hope that there won't be any form of rigging, or there won't even be, the ability to rig, because now it's not about thumb printing, but it's about, voting electronically.
That is why I support this idea of electronic voting, and then they transfer the thing. You see, it is difficult if they can establish that. Everybody has seen what has happened here. Everybody has seen the other place, and it will go to the central. It's difficult to read that. And like I said earlier, it may be done in my own lifetime. It may be after my demise, but the thing is going to improve gradually. It's a gradual process. If you look at it, it's improving. It's improving. The way things have been done before, to transfer from one polling booth to another is difficult. From one town to another is difficult, but it's easy now. So gradually we will reach there.
Elder, how can we strengthen the political parties, the constitution now, so that there won't be issue of people that will come and try to circumvent or hijack the party?
I know the people are there. They are in big parties. They want to hijack it. But the people there said, well, you must live where you are. Come to our party physically. You cannot be there and then put people here to be controlling us. We will never take it. Big people, money back, real money back. But the people in that party refused to do so. They rejected them. If you want to come to us and then take our ticket. But if not, stay where you are. We are not begging people to come to our party. So that's another way of showing discipline, of saying that we know what we are doing. So it's a gradual process.
Okay. Elder, looking at the multi-party system that we have in Nigeria, don't you think that is also constitutive?
I don't like multi-party system, personally. And that is one thing that I will continue to appreciate Babangida when he has SDP
NRC.
and NRC. You either go there or here.
Yeah.
So when they do that, I think they should allow independent candidates to come out, because there are some people, they know him in their area, they can vote for him. Let that be. But this multi nonsense is not right. How can you? even illiterate, they will be looking at where to thumbprint. In some cases, they will do it in the middle. They will void it. In some cases, they will mistakenly put it in another something. The proliferation is something I don't like. If they want to do it, let them reduce it to 2 political parties. That will even bring sanity. When she was talking, she said they move from one party to the other. If it is 2 parties, you either stay there or go there. It's not there will be no loopholes. So 2-party system is what I cherish. And in many overseas countries, there are not more than 2 parties. Although there could be
some left wings,
and then it won't be as many as we have here. So I believe in 2-party system.
The alternatives to electing candidates, emergence of them from the party without rancor in the party.
Well, that would, you see, again, that's my thinking, is for when you have an office, there are divisions. They must separate party from governance. That is, the governor should not have any business
with the running of the party.
With the running of the party. Once they have it, the party is useless. They can't do anything. It's the governor that will continue to dictate, you do this, you do that. When they do that, I tell you, it will work well. And I will cite example. I have never been in party, what do we call it now? I have always been in the progressive side. When we have MPN and UPN, the MPN people were running it the way it should be. I wasn't there, but we knew. There was a story that Akinloye was in Ibadan and Shagari did something that was wrong. He drove to Akinloye in the middle of the night to go and apologize. And when it is government something, Akinloye will sit down, and when Shagari comes, they will stand up. If it is party, Shagari will sit down before Akinloye comes in. So they allow party to run and they allow government to run. Unless they go back to that, it's going to be difficult. They must separate it. It's 2 different things. You cannot be an admin manager and be an accountant. It's 2 different things. Accountant is going to calculate figures, admin will write letters, he will do so many things. But once everything is in the hand of one person, it can never work. They should go back, they should learn from MPN of those days and NRC. That's what they did at that time. Unfortunately, I wasn't in those 2 parties, but I knew they were doing the right thing. Let everybody do the right thing.
Sir, why are hoodlums allowed in politics? They might not necessarily be a member of a certain party, but we see them around driving around like government officials. What is the idea behind involving hoodlums?
Because they don't have the fear of God, and you see, fear is thing that is terrible. When you entertain fear all the time, that is why they normally do that. They will give money because they know they are not doing the correct thing. They give money to wrong people and they want some people to shade them, some people to be following them. It is not right for them to be having thugs around them, and they are paying them heavily. And you see, it's like courtesan. I'm happy that the students, I'm proud of them. From all I learned, the students are doing their ake, their eye somewhere, but the artisans are the one killing people all over the place now that are calling themselves ake, whatever. So the students, I'm proud of them now. They belong to their society that they are doing. They stay in their classroom, but the artisans are the one killing people all over the place. And then the police are trying their best. That I can tell you. They are working very hard. The police are working very hard to make sure this thing doesn't exist again. At least if it's still existing, they are trying to reduce it to the minimal size that it could be. So having thugs around them is because of they feel insecure, and feel insecure because of their dirty job that they are doing, because they are not truthful to the people. Because why do you need anybody to guide you? The Lord that we serve will guide you. When I was chairman of PDP, I was acting at that time. I went to Wasasai. I saw people with machete, with this. It was like, I know it was power of God. I said, you, put the cutlass down. He did. Then you, the body that is with you, put it down. But we need to pray. We need to talk to God. And if we ourselves do not have any shady thing, we don't need anybody to be guiding us. The police are there. When you want to campaign, the police will be there. Why do you now encourage people, give them money to go and stab other people? It's ungodly. Because they don't know God and because of their dirty job, that's why they are going around with talks.
Elder, do you think consensus is good for internal democracy?
You see, consensus is good in some places, in some at times rather. And when you want to do consensus, people will have shown their interest. A, B, C, D, E, F. You now call them, instead of wasting money, you call them, you interview them, set something, the yardstick you want to use, then you interview all of them, maybe 4, 5, 6. At least before they employ people in an office, a lot of people will come, but they will interview them. Somebody will now be okay. Then you now say this one that meets the requirements, let's put him. And some people will divide them. They will say, no, I still want to go ahead. They will go ahead, but that consensus will emerge. It's not consensus when everybody has paid money and then you want me to now find one person. That is not consensus. But if they choose that as consensus, fine. There's nothing. I'm not in power. I'm nobody there. So, but I'm expressing my own views. It's good to have consensus if it is done genuinely, without any
selfish interest.
Yes, without selfish interest, because interest takes place in some cases. We did consensus when I was chairman, and you go and find out. You never had all this rancor, everybody blowing hot and cold. No, because we did it the way it should be done. And where we cannot do consensus, they went and fought. And the man who wins emerged. So that's how to do it.
Based on your experience, you want to know if true internal democracy can be possible in our political parties.
It can. If people do not believe in money, if people do not believe in what can I say, trying to call blue black or call white red. If they don't do that, it can come. And that's why I said it's a gradual process. We live to learn and learn to live. And there's nothing, there's no faculty of experience in any university in the world. But by doing that, you will acquire experience, we will be learning from our past and then move forward. So it could still be done.
All right, let's pick 1 or 2 calls before we go for the break for the national news to get our listeners involved.
If they voted you in, you should serve them to the end. You are not supposed to go to another party. What for? And then the other party too, they are not supposed to take them. You were there when the other people, they use, I will see that one as use and dump, which is not fair to any human being. I do not support a governor that has been voted for by party A to go to party B. It's not right. It's ungodly. It means he has no conscience. Maybe from what people said that I heard, because they have so many skeletons in their cupboard, and then they leave party A for party B that is in power in order to do a sort of cover up. You will see, if that is the case, it is not right. We should not encourage it. There must be a law that will say, if I vote, that is why they normally have minority in the house now. If it is only one person he will be minority leader, he will be minority in the place. That does not mean he should not do, if the governor is doing something that is right, that he should not support. You are not going to be opposition for life. If the governor is doing well and you are in another party, you should contribute and make him to do better. Crossing after election is useless. It's not good. It's ungodly. It means the people are doing it for a purpose, and the purpose must be selfish interest, because they now believe that the governor who assists them, they leave their party. The party that elected you is not right. It's not right. They are doing it. I'm not saying it could not be done or that they shouldn't do it, but it is not the correct thing to do.
All right, thank you, Elder. We go on the break now for the national news. When we return, we'll continue picking calls and reading your comments. Stay tuned.
Daybreak. The Daybreak Show.